Thank you. Now I'm going to ask a series of questions, and I'm going to ask the same question to each candidate, and I would ask that you keep your responses to around 2 minutes. So the first question tonight is, do you see that the proposed increases in the budget this year will benefit the community, and how? We'll start with Chris.
I appreciate the work that goes into preparing a budget here in Montclair, and I've paid close attention in previous years on how the process goes. But frankly, I'm a little bit concerned about yet another increase. It's a popular line in the community to tell us that the increase in our assessment is just 1 cup of Starbucks coffee a month. Well, that was the case last year and the year before. I'm 3 cups of coffee down and getting nervous about my bagel. I recognize the work that goes into it, and as Jim pointed out, some of the expenses that are unavoidable and cost of living increases and so on. And as Doug pointed out, recent changes that give Montclair new flexibility in managing costs by taking the isolated contract elements and looking to find savings. So I'm not the only voice in my house, and my lot together with my wife has yet to cast our vote. I expect I'll probably support the budget in recognition of the work that's gone into it, but as a board member, it'd be a priority for me to look towards controlling that cost going forward.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, that's fine. I think I can recall it. I have to answer very similar to Chris. That I do have a little bit of concern with the continual increase, and I heard the statement that it was well within the cost of living adjustment, which I'm not really sure that I agree with. The budget increase is about 7%, and I think the cost of living over the last year has been something less than that, closer to about 3%. So in my estimation, it's about double the cost of living increase. That being said, I also echo, again, what Chris said, that I think there is some necessary increase. I think there are some places that the budget can be tightened a little bit. Again, I also recognize that there's a lot of work that goes into it, and that oftentimes the Budget Committee probably doesn't get the recognition or the feedback that they need to necessarily to make it as good as it possibly could be. So I too have another half of my vote, and it has not completely been determined at this point, but we will probably end up supporting the budget this time as well.
I don't have any questions. As a current board member, I have been involved in the budget process, so I know what went into it as far as all the meetings that were held, from the budget committee meetings to the committee inputs on what they would like their budgets to be, down to the board level where we get the draft budget and then we take our looks at it. And I think that based on what I saw and what went around the board table and who had our puts and our takes, that we got the best budget that we could get without a detriment to our way of life here in Montclair. There's always going to be some expense, and I don't think that you can keep it at a constant rate for too long without it then getting hit with a huge increase in those years that you didn't at least increase it by a slight bit. Because every year there is a cost of living increase, and there's a goods raise in price, so it's never going to stay stagnant. I think what we try to do is make the increase as little as possible to make it within people's budgets, and make sure that we can justify it, that we've made good choices, and that we haven't cut things too far where they don't need to be cut, and left things too high where we should have cut more. So I am for the budget, and I think that we have worked through the process and come up with the best budget that we can possibly come up with for this year.
Okay. I've already kind of said in my opening remark that I'm supportive of it. Rather than repeat that, let me just drill down a little bit in one particular area of the budget that I believe that we need to continue to be attentive to. As we've, over the last few years, migrated away from the in-house landscaping maintenance, the infrastructure that we, Montclair, used to have in the area of lawnmowers, et cetera, the real property sort of a thing. As we've migrated toward contracting out for landscaping services, et cetera, what we need to continue to have in our reserve fund as that equipment wears out, et cetera, has been removed from the books. But in the same sense, we've just completed $1 million for, round number figures of dredging the lake. So the contribution to our reserve fund, if you look at the budget, it's on the order of about 5%, but it's actually better than that because 5% was the old figure that still reflected some of that existing equipment, those vehicles that we used to have for patrol, et cetera, that have been removed. So we're doing a good job, in my view, at the board level of recognizing that we are an aging community. We're hitting 40-year anniversary, and the need for us at the board level to put the right policies in place and take that kind of a financial commitment that we are going to continue to protect the investment of the community on those big things, for example, the MPOA office, et cetera, the infrastructure that we have at the beach. So overall, I'm extremely supportive of the budget. I just wanted to take a moment here based on the question and drill down into one particular area, the reserve contributions. And I think it's important for the community to see how we've adapted to that over the last 2 years. Thank you.